Hello, welcome back to another episode of Bastions and Basilisks Monsters Edition. This time, obviously, we're talking about the Revenant. A Revenant is a vengeful undead who stalks the one who killed them in life. They're relentless in the pursuit of their murderer, seeking a final justice. The Revenant presented in Bestiary 2, page 227, is just one variant of this undead. Others can be found, each varying by the circumstances of their death. Side, ghastly guns. The pistols carried by a pale stranger are valuable, but many believe they contain fragments of the creature's soul, making them cursed to slowly corrupt their wielder with the pale stranger's personality. As such, it can be difficult to sell a pale stranger's pistols. Luckily, most underworld markets trade in such goods regardless of their origin. Other side, silent superstition. One marvels at the way people misunderstand the most basic facts about the magic of the dead. The absolute silence of certain revenants has led ignorant fools to believe they fear sound. People espousing this folly claim one can simply retreat to noisier surroundings, such as a tavern full of rowdy patrons, to keep the stalker at bay. In truth, nothing can stop a silent stalker, apart from murdering them or killing their murderer. Alright, so Pale Stranger. Pale Stranger arises when a gunslinger is slain in a duel by an underhanded foe. Buried with their pistols, the corpse claws out of the grave to wreak vengeance upon their killer for cheating. Sometimes a pale stranger is created when a particularly petty gunslinger is beaten fairly and refuses to accept defeat, though such an individual must be specifically self-delusional to retain the hatred necessary to spur the transformation. Whatever the circumstances, a pale stranger can wield their firearms with deadly grace and efficacy. Pale Stranger, Creature 10. Rare, lawful neutral, medium, undead. Perception plus 19, dark vision. Sense murderer. Languages, any one language spoken in life by their murderer, typically common. Skills, acrobatics plus 21, athletics plus 19, intimidation plus 20, strength plus 5, dexterity plus 7, constitution plus 4, intelligence plus 0, wisdom plus 3, charisma plus 2. Items, plus 1 striking flintlock pistol, and they have 2 of them. Sense murderer. Detection, divination, occult. A pale stranger knows the direction of their murderer as long as both are on the same plane, but not the distance. They just keep on trucking until they find them. AC 29, fortitude plus 19, reflexes plus 21, willpower plus 15. Hit points 155, negative healing. Immunities, death effects, disease, paralyzed, poison, sleep. Resistances, physical 10, except slashing. Self-loathing, emotional, mental, visual. If a pale stranger sees their own reflection or any object important to them in life, they must attempt a DC 30 will save. Critical success, the pale stranger is unaffected and can no longer be affected by that reflection or object in that way. Success, the pale stranger is distracted by self-loathing and is slowed one for 1 round. Failure, the pale stranger becomes fascinated by the source of their self-loathing and does everything they can to destroy it until the end of their next turn. Critical failure, the pale stranger becomes immobilized as long as the source of their self-loathing is apparent, until they're attacked or until they see their murderer. Undying vendetta. Emotion, necromancy, occult. If the pale stranger's murderer dies, the pale stranger is immediately destroyed. A pale stranger that can't sense their murderer must attempt a DC 11 flat check once every 24 hours to avoid becoming immobilized and prone. They immediately rise again once they can sense their murderer. A murderer who becomes undead does not trigger the pale stranger's destruction until the murderer is finally destroyed. The pale stranger gains a plus 2 status bonus to checks and DCs against their murderer. Speed 25. Melee, 1 action, pistol whip, plus 20, magical. Damage 2d6 plus 9 bludgeoning. Melee, fist, plus 21. Agile, finesse, non-lethal. Damage 1d6 plus 9 bludgeoning. Ranged, 1 action, flintlock pistol, plus 24. Concussive, fatal d8. Range increment 40 feet. Damage 2d4 plus 6 piercing, plus bullets of vengeance. Bullets of vengeance, necromancy, occult. Shots from a pale stranger's firearm deal an additional 1d6 precision damage or 2d6 precision damage against the one who murdered them. A creature who has never killed a living being doesn't take this precision damage. When a pale stranger critically succeeds at a ranged strike with a pistol. The target must succeed a DC 29 Fortitude save or be stunned 1. Deadshot, 2 actions, frequency once per turn. Requirements: the Pale Stranger is wielding 2 loaded firearms. Effect: the Pale Stranger takes aims at a target and shoots both of their firearms simultaneously. The Pale Stranger makes 2 ranged strikes, 1 with each of their firearms, each using the Pale Stranger's current multiple attack penalty. Both strikes must have the same target, who must be within the first range increment of both weapons. If both attacks hit, combine their damage and then add any applicable effects from both weapons. The Pale Stranger adds any precision damage only once to the attack of their choice. Combine the damage from both strikes and apply resistance and weakness only once. This counts as 2 attacks when calculating the Pale Stranger's multiple attack penalty. I guess it's probably one of those... Revenant Reload, 1 action, Conjuration Occult. The Pale Stranger reloads each firearm they're wielding, supernaturally generating new black powder and bullets. When firing these magical bullets, the firearm can't misfire and the attack doesn't trigger reactions triggered by ranged attacks. So you would Deadshot, Revenant Reload. Alright, Silent Stalker. When a person is betrayed and killed in a way that their voice was silenced, such as through strangulation by a lover or close confidant, they might come back as a Silent Stalker. A Silent Stalker is a horrifying, twisted likeness of the person they were in life, with one obvious difference. The Silent Stalker has no mouth, simply a smooth patch of flesh where the mouth should be. Sound is suppressed in an area around the Silent Stalker, but once someone notices the quiet, it's often too late. Silent Stalker, Creature 13. Lawful Neutral, Small, Undead. Perception plus 24, Dark Vision, Sense Murderer. Languages, any spoken in life by the murderer, typically common, but they can't speak. Skills, Athletics plus 27, Intimidate plus 24, Stealth plus 28, Strength plus 8, Dexterity plus 5, Constitution plus 3, Intelligence plus 0, Wisdom plus 5, Charisma plus 3, Sense Murderer as Pale Stranger, AC 34, Fortitude plus 22, Reflex plus 24, Willpower plus 22, Hit points 220, negative healing, immunities, death effects, disease, paralyzed, poison, sleep, resistances, physical 15 except slashing. Silent Aura. Aura, Illusion, Occult, 10 feet. A Silent Stalker makes no sound, preventing creatures from noticing them using hearing or a similar sense alone. The silence stops all around, within it, or passing through. The Silent Stalker and all creatures in the aura can't use sonic attacks or actions that have the auditory trait. This prevents creatures from casting spells with verbal components or activating items with command components. Self-Loathing as Pale Stranger, but DC 33. Undying Vendetta as Pale Stranger. Speed 25 feet. Melee 1 action, Claw plus 27, Agile. Damage 3d8 plus 14, Bludgeoning plus Grab. Constrict 1 action, 3d8 plus 7, Bludgeoning, DC 33. Implacable Advance, 2 actions. The Silent Stalker strides twice and makes a claw strike. They can ignore difficult terrain during these strides. The Silent Stalker strides twice and makes a claw strike. They can ignore difficult terrain during these strides. If they advance towards their murderer, if they strike and grab their murderer their turn, they can constrict as a free action immediately after the grab. That's actually pretty nasty. That's pretty cool. Like, that's how you kind of... That's how you assassinate right out the gate, yo. You just move. Yeah, so that's the Revenant. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe. Comment if you liked it. Prefer the subscription, but I'll take whatever I can get. Alright, bye.